I met our speaker at the last, maybe a month or two ago, at Network After Work. And she was there peddling her company. She is a principal in her own company called See-Through Solutions. And she was telling me about how she goes into a small company and helps them improve their processes, improve their operations, streamline things. She also helps individuals, so sometimes the executives of those companies need a little bit of development as well, so she helps those people. She is an interesting person. If you look her up on LinkedIn, which I hope many of you did when you saw she was going to be our speaker, she's a summa cum laude graduate in psychology, I believe, from the University of Colorado. Is that correct? Yeah. University of Colorado. And as soon as she graduated, she started getting interesting jobs, project management, program management, different kinds of leadership roles in some excellent companies, MCI and EBS and some others. And eventually decided to start her own business. And she's going to talk to us about the title of her presentation is longer than just juggling tomatoes, but juggling tomatoes is the image that sticks in your mind. And she's going to talk about how she, who is not only the principal in her own company, but currently, according to LinkedIn, is also the chief operations officer for a company in Chicago and a company in Portland. And how does she juggle all those tomatoes? Well, she uses a system called Kanban. So she's going to tell us the secrets of tomato juggling. Susan Lynn.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Good morning. Good group. This is awesome. So this is kind of a strange title. Yes. Finding freedom through juggling tomatoes in the ancient Japanese art of Kanban. So my goal today is to be able to send you guys home with some tools. Some tools that can help you in your job search, in your everyday, once you actually get a job. So something that I have found very helpful for myself. So that's my goal for you guys today. But if you guys have ever heard of Simon Sinek, he always says to start with the why. So why are we actually here today? I think we're actually here because Kathy makes us get up, put clothes on, come out in public for our own good, right? And I say us because really the only difference between someone who's self-employed and someone who's unemployed is that unemployed is looking for one job and self-employed is looking for a lot of little jobs. So not a whole lot of difference there. But I wasn't always self-employed, as Kathy mentioned. I'll give you a little bit of background. So I've got 20 years experience in project, program, process management, all of the letters, PMP, CSM, ITIL, all that stuff. My last job, I worked for a really large international company, ran their PMO for me, about 5 different PMOs that rolled up underneath me, put in a brand new methodology that I came up with a colleague of mine. We actually created a new methodology, put in a portfolio management system, increased the project flow by 30% in the first year alone, decreased the turnover within the project managers, and just really brought a lot of calm to an area of the business that was previously chaos. So I did all of that, and yet I wanted to do more. So I was like, well, we did a lot within within one department, but I wanted to help entire companies be very, very profitable, very productive, very efficient, and put people first. And that was my passion. That was my why. And that's what I wanted to do for other companies. And so I started my own company, and it was really, really great because I got up that first morning, right, that first Monday morning, I'm like, this is great. I have my own company. All right, I'm going to do my business plan today. I'm going to do my marketing plan. I'm going to do my website. This is going to be fantastic. But, I work for myself now, so I can do some stuff I don't normally do. So now I can get up and meditate in the morning, get myself grounded. Oh, this is going to be great. First, I need coffee, though. Must get coffee. So I get some coffee, and I go to meditate. All right, I better make sure I'm not missing anything on my email that's important. Okay. Ooh, someone tagged me on Facebook. That's been an hour and a half. Okay, all right, meditate. I'm going to meditate. All right. Here we go. Oh, hey, how's it going? Heck yeah, I'm starting my own business. This is great. It's going to be a work day for me. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to get all this stuff done. It's great. What are you up to? Yeah? Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, wow. Oh, man, we've been on the phone for 2 hours. I got to get going. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, sounds great. Oh, where was I? Oh, man, I'm getting kind of hungry. I need to get some lunch. Does that sound anybody? So I go get some lunch. All right, that's it. You know, I'm not going to, all right, I got to get busy. I'm not looking at Facebook. I'm not looking at email. All right, I'm going to get on LinkedIn. That's very important. I need to connect with people. Very important that I do that. Okay, LinkedIn. Oh, I need to change my LinkedIn profile. Ooh, what's the best way to do that? Ooh, there's an article on how to do that. Oh, yeah, that's really good. Oh, there's a video on how to do this. This is fantastic. I can actually sign up for an entire course on how to market yourself better on LinkedIn. Oh, this is really good. Oh, wow. There's even another article on how to get your social media to really be able to get your face out there and market yourself appropriately. Wow, this is getting a little overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't even know where to start, man. It's 4:30. How did that happen? I've got my plate here that's empty. I got a half-eaten bag of potato chips. I'm in front of my computer. I'm still in my pajamas, and I have accomplished nothing all day long. I would like to say that only happened once. What's worse is this is what I do. I help people be very, very productive and efficient with their time in order to be profitable in the marketplace. So this is ridiculous. I've got to figure out how to do this. So I pulled some stuff from my own old project management days and put some stuff in place, some new things, and figured out how to be productive when I no longer had the daily structure of going to work. I didn't have those meetings. I didn't have a boss looking over my shoulder, making sure I was being productive. So without that structure, I had to figure out a way to be productive with my day. And that's what I want to be able to do for you guys today. Is that cool? Yeah. All right. Well, let me make sure I'm in the right place. So, does anybody else ever struggle with motivation at all? Yeah. Okay. Does anybody else ever feel like it takes them all day long just to get one important thing done? Yes. And how about this one? When you're not working or you're not putting effort towards your goals, do you feel guilty? You have that weighing on your head? Anyone? Excellent. I'm among friends. That's good to know. Okay. Well, you're going to be very excited today. So what we're going to talk about is basically using systems to be efficient. And normally I do this as a workshop, helping, bring in all your devices and you walk out of here with everything set up and you're all ready to go. We don't have that ability just yet here. So we're going to split this up and violate that whole, you're never supposed to put the why and the how in the same presentation. We're going to do that today. But we're going to talk about why even use systems and why be efficient, which sounds like a stupid question. Of course you want to be efficient, but it's a valid question, especially when you've got all day long to get something done. And then we're going to actually talk about the how of Kanban and how to leverage Pomodoros too. So we're going to have a little fun with that. All right, well, the first question is why use systems? Why use systems at all? And it really comes down to when you're making changes and you want to accomplish something, it comes down to behavioral changes. All right, and that's true in organizations as well as personally. You're trying to make a change and you're trying to do something different with your behavior, and it comes down to motivation. How do you motivate yourself to go and do something? Hopefully it's a little more than just this, motivating yourself. And when you try to make a new change, you're like, all right, that's it. This is ridiculous. My desk is a mess. It is a disaster. I am going to get organized. From now on, this is going to be organized. I'm going to get very regimented about this and clean this up. This is crazy. Or you say, hey, my clothes don't fit anymore. I'm embarrassed to get in a bathing suit with my friends. This is crazy. I'm going to finally get into shape. I'm going to start eating well and start taking care of myself. I'm going to lose those last 5 pounds. I'm going to do this. That's it. Well, I've done some study on willpower and motivation, and they have found that the moment you make that decision is the best you are going to feel about that decision. Your body is flooded with endorphins when you say that. You're like, that's it, I'm making this decision, we're making a change. Your body is flooded with endorphins, and you feel amazing. You're like, all right, 10 feet tall, we are going to make this happen. And then that motivation sort of, whew, just drops off immediately after that. And so it's really hard to maintain that. It takes a lot of energy to maintain that willpower. Well, that's where systems come in. If you put systems and a structure in place, it helps you to maintain that motivation long after the feeling has dissipated. And I don't know if you guys do that, but I always make that decision about getting in shape and losing weight and eating right after I've had a big meal. I never do it when I'm hungry, ever. So, yeah, usually by the time I get hungry, it's like, ooh, I don't feel so good about that anymore. But then I know what you're saying. You're like, all right, well, I've made these decisions, and that sounds really great. But I swear that the moment I make that decision, it's like the universe conspires against me. I was like, I'm gonna eat right, and then your friend invites you to their birthday party. And they're like, hey, Susan. I'm like, oh, I'll be good now. We got a cake especially for you because you're gluten-free. So this is especially for you. We're going to get all this gluten stuff, but this is for you. Now I have to eat it. It would be rude not to. They got it especially for me. Or you go to your networking event like you're supposed to. You're talking to people. You're drinking. You're like, ooh, I shouldn't be drinking on an empty stomach. Ooh, all they have is bar food. Well, I guess it's better than driving home drunk. I'd rather do that. Or you're just starving and you're eating anything in sight. I don't know if you guys do this. Maybe it's just me. But you feel like it's conspiring against you. Or you're really going to get into shape, and then all of a sudden you fall and you break your wrist. Or you twist an ankle. You're like, what is all of this? It feels like everything is conspiring against me. And they've actually shown that your subconscious brain kind of does that. It actually will conspire against you. Why is that? Does my brain hate me? No, your brain actually loves you. But the subconscious mind is designed to be able to keep you safe. It's been there for a millennium, and it's there to keep you safe. And it's there to keep you on the straight and narrow. It's like, hey, we've been doing good so far on this path. Let's not deviate from it. And it's there to be able to keep you on the straight and narrow. And so a good analogy of that is, it's as if you are an ocean liner, and in the basement of the ocean liner, down in the engine room, you have a whole crew down there, and they're there to keep your ocean liner afloat, going down the ocean. And you've got Bob there. He's your foreman, and he's there to keep you safe. That is his entire goal, and he's very good at his job. So he's there to keep you safe, and you're like, hey, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to do this. He's like, oh, we're not doing that. It's like, oh yeah, all right, I'm not working anymore, that's it. I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to get organized, I'm going to learn the guitar, I'm going to learn a new skill, I'm going to do all this stuff. And Bob's like, oh no, you do that, you're going to upset the entire ship. You're going to dump this entire thing overboard. You start making a about change like that, that's crazy. I'm here to keep you safe. And so there is a tendency to be able to sabotage that. So how do you get around it? Like I said, Bob's good at his job. He wants to keep you safe. So I'm going to give you guys a secret. I'm going to teach you guys 3 magic words to be able to get your subconscious mind on board with your goals. You guys good with magic? I love magic. It's that whole instantaneous result sort of thing. But the 3 magic words that will help to get your subconscious mind to pay attention would be up until now. That's it. Very simple. Up until now. But up until now, haven't been paying attention, and I've got unopened mail, and I've got this mess here, but now I'm going to get organized and take this forward and do something more, be more conscious about my organization. Or up until now, I haven't really paid attention to what I've been eating, and I haven't really been working out, but now I'm going to do something that's good for my health because I want to be there for my grandkids when I get older and still be active. up until now, I've been doing it this way, but now I'm going to do it different. And when you say those words, it's as if Bob is listening going, whoa, up until now, the captain's about to give a new order. And the entire crew waits. Up until now, this is what's happened. But now, we're doing something different. And they wait the order. And when you give that order, Bob's like, all right, that's it, all right. And the crew goes to work. And all of a sudden, they're flipping switches, and they're turning dials, and they're shoveling coal into the thing, and they're locking in those coordinates for that change. And they are making it happen. So when you make that decision, that change happens. It takes place. But like an ocean liner, a lot of times in an ocean liner, it'll take up to 15 miles before you actually start to see the change in direction of that ship. So sometimes it takes a little while in order to see the result of the decision that you made. Even though those coordinates have been locked in, sometimes it just takes a little while to actually for you to see it, for the world to see it. That happens. So don't get discouraged. And also don't confuse Bob. When I first started my business, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go in this direction. Oh, I'm going to go in this direction. I'm going to go in this. I mean, Bob is getting schizophrenic. It was crazy. But it's okay because we've gotten therapy. We figured it out now. We have a coordinate locked in, so we're in good shape now. But you need to be able to stick to that and make those changes. But if there's nothing else that you guys get out of today's talk, remember those words. I know it sounds very simple, but they are very powerful up until now. Okay? All right, so we've been talking a lot about systems. And the systems are there to be able to lock those coordinates into place. But what is a system? So the definition would be an organized scheme or method created to carry out a specific activity, perform a duty, or solve a problem. I like that. Scheme. Or a purposeful structure that consists of interrelated and interdependent elements that work together in order to achieve a goal of the system. Or simply put, it's something done over and over again in order to get something done. That's basically a system. And a system can be as simple as something you do every night, be like wash your face before you go to bed. You guys have heard of a skincare system? You know, cleanse, tone, moisturize. It's just a system. Or it can be as simple as a phrase, like, and every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better, something to remind you. Or it can be as complex as the supercomputer that run the robots that take care of the space station. So it can be very high-tech, low-tech, or no-tech. And on that note, I do want to bring this up because even though we're in a very high-tech world, there are still some people that really get unnerved by technology, and they feel like technology is taking over. But who feels like technology is taking over their jobs? Anyone? Well, I will tell you they are. Technology is taking over jobs. And it should. Technology should take over jobs. Technology is doing things that can be done over and over again that really doesn't require a lot. They just, to be able to complete a job. You guys are worth more than that. You guys can do more. That's the whole idea. I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to give up my dishwasher or my washing machine to do those things that a machine can do. But technology keeps moving on, and it will take over the things that really is not worth our time anymore, so that you can go out and be more creative. That's what you were here to put on earth to do, is to be very creative, to do something better, to be more human. We need technology to teach us how to be more human. It's really important. So one of the, I had this little girl, and her name was Molly. And Molly's mom had raised her since she was little as a single mom. And Molly was very proud of her mom. She'd get up every day and dress up and go to work, and she always looked beautiful. And she would go to work every day as a bank teller. And then one day she came home, and she no longer had a job. And it wasn't like she could just go down the street here to the next bank and get another job, because all of those bank tellers were out of work as well. When was the last time you guys were in a bank? I mean, I hadn't been in a bank in a while, and I went to one recently. I was shocked. There were none of those little ropes where people stand in line. There wasn't the whole row of bank tellers doling out money. It was crazy. There were like 3 people in the entire bank, and there were kiosks everywhere. It was like, whoa, this is really weird. But technology is taking over that whole bank teller industry. I ran across this graphic though, and this is a graphic of all the new companies that have sprung up in fintech. You guys know that financial technology? It's the buzzword. So if you look at these are all different companies in the financial arena. None of these companies existed when Molly's mom went to school. Most of these companies haven't existed in the last 5 years. But all of these companies need people to work for them. And they need people like Molly's mom who understands finance and the needs of the people to make sure that they're actually satisfying the needs of their customers through their technology. So don't be afraid of technology. It will continue to develop. I don't want to bring up any sore subjects, but you guys, I know Uber isn't here right now, but did you know that Uber's goal was not to employ normal people to use their own cars to drive people around? Does anybody know what their actual goal of creating Uber was?
I heard that they had a plan to eventually have cars that were robotically operated.
Self-driving cars, that was always their plan. And it'll happen.
And anyone who tried to go to work for Uber, they had hidden costs.
Oh, yeah. So that is their plan. And it'll happen eventually once they work out all the kinks. But I mean, things are going to continue to go. But just, go with it. Realize that you are worth so much more than that. You can learn new skills and do something different and bring a lot more humanity to the world of technology. So, why be efficient? Again, it seems like a dumb question. Why would you even want to be efficient? Well, there's a couple of good reasons. But I think the best way to demonstrate that is with the analogy of a toy boat. We have this whole boat thing going on. We're going to continue to use that. So let's say you've got your toy boat and you want to take it out to the lake and, send it on its way. And it's a beautiful day, sunshine, no wind. And so you take your boat out to the lake and you put your boat down. And you want to send it out there, so you start blowing. How long is it going to take for that boat to go anywhere? And how far is that boat going to go? I mean, I'm being persistent. I'm being consistent. I'm putting my effort into it. I'm getting kind of tired, getting a little bored, getting a little hot-headed, as a matter of fact. Woo. But instead of doing that, try just to go out and be like, all right. Now, how far is that boat going to go? I mean, it is out there on that lake. It is out there further, faster, and will go farther than I did before with all of the consistent, slow effort. And it's because I concentrated my effort and focused my effort on getting that boat out there. But here's the other reason to be efficient. When you do that, that energy that you expel, it comes back to you. You actually feel more energized when you focus your effort and be very efficient at what you're doing than if you just do slow, steady, and plod along. Come on, do it with me. I can't be the only one up here looking ridiculous. Do that. One, just really hard blow. Ready? All right, one more time. All right, I'll give it all you got. You feel that energy? You feel that coming back to you? That is why you want to be efficient. Because you get that energy that comes back to you when you focus and concentrate your energy. That make sense? Excellent. All right, so let's talk about how to do that. So I put together 2 of the most effective methods, or the most effective methodologies that I have found in my own life. And I put these together, and it was Kanban and Pomodoros. And it's something that, I've used various things in corporations. For me personally, this has been just absolutely amazing. So let's talk about what those are. You guys have heard of Kanban, right? Most of you? Especially if you've been in the tech industry, you've probably heard of Kanban. Who can tell me what Kanban means, the word? I can tell you it is Japanese, it is not an ancient art. Anyone? It means signpost, billboard. It's not very sexy. But Kanban was created by Taichi Ono. He was an engineer at the Toyota factory, and he was trying to create a lean, just-in-time methodology. And if you guys want trivia and you want to remember his name, just be like, hey, we learning some yoga today? No, we learned some Tai Chi. Tai Chi? Oh no. That's his name, Taichi Ono. So he actually created Kanban in order to be very effective at the factory there. So this is a Kanban board. This is the most basic Kanban board out there. To do, doing, done. Right? Very basic. And you can create a board like this anywhere you want. You can draw lines on your wall. I actually did this on my bathroom mirror. I drew on my bathroom mirror and I drew columns and then did sticky notes. Don't you love sticky notes? People in technology, they love their sticky notes. They keep their sticky note people in business. But you put your sticky notes up there and then you move them from one column to the next as you get things done. And you're like, okay, well, that's really great, but why do this? Why not just have a big list of stuff to do and then cross them off? Well, the first thing you want to do for a Kanban is you want to download your brain. Get everything off of your mind. Everything that you want to do, that you think you should do, that you have ever wanted to do, anything that other people think you should do, that they expect you to do, everything that society expects you to do, anything you've ever thought about doing in your life, get it out of your head. It is an energy drain. It's like a slow leak. It will drain your energy just trying to keep track of all those things in your head. So get it out of your head, and just doing that will give you a lot more energy. So again, why not just make a big list of everything? Well, the whole idea of most methodologies or a list is that you've got this push, and you feel that push. You're like, all right, I gotta do this. I gotta get all this stuff done, and you're constantly being pushed to get more and more and more done. The difference is with Kanban is that it's a pull methodology, and I'm going the wrong direction. It's the pull methodology where you pull the items through your to-do list and once you get them done. And the difference is that you have limiters. So you limit the number of things in the middle that you're working on, that you're focused on, that you're doing right now. And you decide how many things that you want to get done in a given day, and you limit that. And then you don't have more things added to your list every day until you've completed things. And you pull them through there. Sometimes you have to add things, and then what you do is you take and you put things back into your backlog so that you're not overwhelming yourself. Because again, trying to do it all at once, ladies, we're the worst at this, right? Trying to do it all at once. We're really good at it. So we try to do it all, but not as good at it as you might think. You guys have heard of context switching? Sometimes it takes up to 23 minutes to get your mind back into what you were doing before. So context switching is not very good, but if you can focus, but you limit your things in order to, again, to not drain your energy, to be very effective at what you're doing. So that's why you want to be able to use a Kanban board, is that whole pull methodology. The next one is Pomodoro. Who can tell me what Pomodoro means? Anyone? Tomato, exactly. It means tomato. It's Italian for tomato. That's what it means. And it was created by Francesco Cirillo. And his idea was that he was in university, he was trying to study, get all of his homework done and all that. It's a lot of work. And so what he found is that if he could concentrate his energy into specific periods of time and focus for that period of time, and then take a break, and then focus for that period of time, that he was more effective, that he retained more of what he was doing, his work was more higher quality, and he didn't have the same mental fatigue and physical fatigue, and he was able to stay sharp. And so that's what he found out. And he did a lot of experiment with how much time, and he found that the most effective time period for him was 25 minutes. So if he could focus for 25 minutes, and then he would take a 5-minute break. And then focus for 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break. Focus for 25 minutes and then take a 15-minute break. And then he found if he did that, he was actually a lot more effective. And you're probably wondering, well, where did the tomato come in? So he did this when he was at home, and he used his mom's kitchen timer to time himself, and it was in the shape of a tomato. So if we put this all together, and you can do this very, again, high-tech, low-tech, no-tech, but I actually like technology, so I'm going to talk to you guys about my favorite app or my favorite tool that's out there, and I use this every day. That's been the most effective for me. So it's kanbanflow.com. So if you guys go to that kanbanflow.com, there's a couple reasons why I like this particular tool. There's a lot of tools out there that you can use. I like this tool because it combines Kanban and Pomodoro into the tool already. And second of all, it's free. I like free. And third, they actually do have a mobile version that you can use. They don't have an app, but they do have a mobile version for Kanban Flow. So if you go to Kanban Flow, you're going to go there and you're going to create your board, so you can name your board whatever you want, and then you're going to set up your columns. So you don't have to do just the to do, doing, done. You can set up any columns that you want. And I will show you how I set up my board. This is actually my Kanban board. It's Susan's Super Duper Kanban. You can name it whatever you want. You can name it Kathy's Super Duper Kanban. And these are the columns that I set up. So you've got your backlog, and that's everything. It's a very long list of all the stuff that's in there. And then what I do is I plan it for a week. So I'm like, okay, what do I want to accomplish in the next week? And I pull that stuff into my week. And then I pull the previous day, I try to do this the previous night, I plan out my day. And I usually do, like a couple of, in my week I do like a couple of big projects and a lot of little stuff. And then my day, I plan out what I want to do the next day, or at least that morning I plan out what I'm going to do. And if you notice on there, it has a limiter, it says 2 of 8. So my limiter is 8. I want to do no more than 8 things. And these are things that are like, heads down stuff. I usually don't put my meetings or my networking and stuff on here. You can, it's up to you how you do that. But I limit it to 8 items a day. And then it's the now. These are the things that I'm focused on right now. And usually it should be one thing, no more than 3. Sometimes you're doing a couple, but try to focus on one. And then I put a follow-up column, like the things you send out emails, you make a phone call, and you're waiting for something back, just so I can keep track of it and not lose that. And then the final one is the done column. So this is how I set up my board. And then you'll see the green check, or the green boxes there. Those are recurring items. So there's 4 recurring things that I try to do each day. Yoga, meditation, reading, and LinkedIn follow-ups. And so I just try to do this. And with the tool, as soon as you move that to the done column, it copies it back again so it's ready for the next day. So you can set all those things up. So this is how I set this up. And then if you notice on the bottom there, you've got a timer. So if you click on that, it pops up your Pomodoro timer. Already set for 25 minutes. And you choose which item you want to work on. So I'm working on finish slides for Launchpad Talk. Ooh, I hope I got that done. So you click on that item, and then you hit the start button, and then it focuses for 25 minutes. And then it dings and it tells you when you need to take a break. And it sets for 5 minutes and keeps going on like that. So in addition to limiting how many things that you want to put on there for your Kanban board, also what you need to do is you need to decide how many, let's see if I answer your question, how many Pomodoros that you want to complete in any given day. Can I answer your question next?
Is there a way to focus the slides so that the print is easier to, it's kind of...
That's okay, the details are not that important.
Oh.
This is my personal stuff. You really guys don't want to know. So The main thing is that you have a board with stuff on it, and then you've got a timer. That's really all we're talking about here. So where was it? Okay, so you want to limit the number of pomodoros that you actually have per day. So if you decide, you know what, most jobs, they actually expect you to do 6 to 6.5 hours of productivity a day. They don't actually expect you to do 8. You may be working 12 hours, but they know there's meetings and there's coffee breaks and there's, discussions, things like that. So 6 hours a day approximately, but now you're working for yourself, and now you found a way to be very, very efficient. So let's say 4 hours a day of heads down work. Again, you're also going out, you're doing the networking, you're doing the meetings that you really need to do in order to get a job. But this is the heads down work. So you're going to decide to do approximately 8 pomodoros a day. Okay? So you've decided, all right, I've got my plan, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing for the next day, and then you get up in the morning and you get your coffee. That's very important. Can you tell I drink a lot of coffee? Anyway, you get your coffee and you do your yoga or your meditation or all the things that you want to do, your reading. And let's say that you get around to actually sitting down at your computer, say 10 o'clock. But it's like, all right, this is it, I'm doing this, and you just start your timer, boom. And then you focus, and then you get your stuff done, and then you take your 5-minute break, get a cup of coffee. And then you focus for another 25 minutes, and you take a 5-minute, get another cup of coffee. Try not to do more than 4, I find that really kind of, anyway. So, and then you take a 15-minute break, and you do some jumping jacks or go outside. And you stay focused, though, in getting your stuff done, and you knock them out, just bam, 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 bam. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're done. You're free. And you would not believe you have accomplished more in those 4 hours of focus than you probably normally do in 12, 16 hours in a day. It's unbelievable. And now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You're free. Go have a coffee with a colleague. Go pick up your kids from school. Go for a walk. Learn the guitar. But not only are you free, like when you did the energy, you're actually now more energized than if you had worked slowly all day long trying to get one thing done with your half-eaten bag of potato chips. So you're focused and you actually have more energy. You're sharper. You're actually more charming when you go out and talk to people trying to get a job. Because you're free to be able to be very creative. And that is the point of doing something that is going to help you to be efficient, to stay on track, because now you feel good about yourself because you did what you said you're going to do. And sometimes it takes, do you get all your stuff done? No, it took a little while for me to get all these thoughts and things. But you at least have accomplished more than you would have if you didn't have something, a system there to maintain the motivation that you had started out with. Yes?
How long do you keep your done items in the done?
It scrolls. You pull them over and it shows like what you did, that day, yesterday, and then it'll scroll ad nauseum. I haven't looked to see how far. But that is another really good point too, that a lot of times you'll be working all day long, you get to the end of the day, it's like, wow, I feel like I've done something. What have I actually accomplished? And you can go back to your done column and be like, oh yeah, I did do these things. Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
This may be a little bit of a tool question, but the 2 columns in the center look like they say today and now.
Yes.
And they look like there are numbers behind it, but I can't read that.
Okay.
But my broader question is, how does the stuff you're working on real time with the timer interact with updating your landscape of what you're working on and what you have coming up next?
I'm not sure what you mean by that last question.
I was just curious as to how the tool works in terms of queuing up the next item. Because I'm guessing it's somewhere in those 2 middle columns, which is a little fuzzy to read.
Okay.
So how does it help you in like a slightly automated way kind of go from one thing to the next?
Okay. So it's not going to tell you what to do. It leaves that up to you. So the numbers that you're looking at, those are the limiters. That's the limit that you put on how many items that you have. And right now it has 2 of 8. So it means you've got 2 items, but a total of 8. So you'll see some of the stuff that's over in the done column, and at the beginning of the day it had 8 items in there, and so it was 8 of 8. And then as you complete things, it does that. And then the now column it says 1 of 3, so you can have no more than 3. It just does that limiter, and then it pops up red if you put too many things in there. Like, hey, are you trying to be Superman again? Come on, let's be realistic.
Okay.
So that's the point of that. And It's a lot like the regular Kanban literally did start out with sticky notes on a board. And so this is similar to that, that when you want to work on something new, you move the sticky note to the next column, and then you move it. And so this is the same thing, except it's just click and drag. So it's not going to automatically tell you what to do next. You click and drag it. Because you still need that sort of satisfaction. I love to cross things off lists. I wouldn't want someone to do that for me. It's so like, hey, I earned that, man. So I earned the ability to be able to click and drag that to the done column. So that's how that works. Yes. Mm-hmm. Not exactly sure how you'd structure that. Right. What you could do is just say, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm doing Pomodoro, so it's Pomodoro time. And then you just block that out on your calendar. You could do it that way. So let's save some of those questions. I want to make sure I've got time for questions at the end too. So the 4 steps that you want to remember in doing this is to prepare, set up your board, do your limiters, and then plan, figure out what you actually want to accomplish, and then just turn on your timer. Pomodoro, just bam, 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 bam. Knock those things out, and then go do something else. Go do something creative. She's created a tremendous list here in Austin to be able to do all those things that you do once you've accomplished the things that you want to do for your day. Here's a couple other Kanban tools I want to give you guys so you have this. If you want things, go ahead and take a picture of this. But kanbanflow.com is at the top. There's a couple other ones. Kanban Eye, Portable Kanban is an app. It's also Pomodoro Tools. Strict Workflow is a Chrome extension. This is actually pretty cool. If you put this on, if you're in the middle of a Pomodoro, it will not allow you to go to certain websites like Facebook. And so it actually saves you from yourself. Tomato Timer is a very simple, tomato timer online, and then you've got a couple of apps as well, the iOS and Android apps for Pomodoro tools. So some of the takeaways on this, key takeaways, is use systems, not willpower. Use the systems to support your goals, to support the decisions that you've made, so that you're not having to expend all of your energy to force yourself to do something all the time. Once you have it in place, you just click it and go. Don't keep worrying about it, but use systems, not willpower. Up until now, you've needed somebody else to help you be really structured and to get things done throughout the day. But now you have tools to be very efficient and very productive throughout your day. So blow hard. Be efficient, and you will actually get that energy back to you. So download all of your stress into the Kanban backlog. Again, that will help you keep you from your energy getting drained all the time, and help you to have more energy to accomplish the things you want to do. Because we talked about the questions at the beginning, right? You struggle with motivation. Instead of using motivation, use it once, make the decision, set up your structure, and just go for it. And the second one is take you all day long to get something done. No, you just start the timer. Juggle those tomatoes, man. Start those Pomodoros. Get those things rolling. Knock those things out. And then maybe you will have time to learn how to juggle real tomatoes. But I wouldn't recommend it. Get messy. And then get done. Get finished for the day. Free up your mind. Go create something. I mean, you guys are amazing. You've heard all the people up here. You guys are incredible. Every time I come here, I'm blown away by the quality of people that are here. You guys are incredible. You're going to find jobs. You're going to find jobs that you want. Go create the lives that you want. Be out there focusing on being human. That's what the world really, really needs. So go create. That is what you were designed to do as human beings. And just be amazing. You already are amazing, but go show the world how amazing you really are. So let me give you I'll give you ways to contact me. Here's some of my contact information. You can get a hold of me if you have any other questions after this, but I definitely want to take your questions now. So what other questions do you guys have? Yes, Kathy.
We had a speaker, maybe a year or two ago,
Mhm.
who talked from a company, I think called Rapid Pack. And his company uses the Kanban system. And they put, projects or whatever with all the different pieces.
Mhm.
And then it's interactive with groups, so people go in and they, will accept ownership of a piece of that project, but everybody can see that. How do you set that up to where multiple people can see the Kanban screen?
So they do have a team version in here as well, and then you just add users onto your team. So it is set up to where you can have different people. It also is set up to where you can assign people to each of them. You can also break it down. There's a lot of technology behind this. I kind of showed the basic scaled down version of this today. But yeah, you can absolutely do that.
But you can do a team thing from Kanban Flow?
Yes, yes you can. And it's still free. I think they've got some upgrade things that you can pay for, some features. But I do believe that you can still do unlimited number of users and unlimited number of projects for free in Kanban Flow.
He said that he had a home one and his wife could put honeydew jobs for him on his things to do. No.
I will comment on that. And it's interesting you mentioned that in corporations. I've used this in corporations. There's certain places where I found this to be more effective than others. So I find that Kanban is effective in a support type of a team, to where you get tickets in to be able to fix things in a support team. I found it less effective in an actual project team. People are very smart. They figure out how to game this pretty quickly. So, yes.
I'm sort of starting.
Excellent. Good for you.
And I found a lot, I didn't realize what I was doing and what was missing
Mhm.
from what I was doing. So this was fabulous presentation. My question is, can you give an example of what are 3 things that you might be doing at the same time? Like in that now column, I understood the today, I understood all those columns. But when I saw you had a maximum of 3 lenders
Mhm.
in the now column,
Right.
and you just happen to have 1, but you could have 2, 3 things there.
Mhm.
What are examples of 3 things? I tend to be doing several things at the same time and find that that's not always very productive. So I was wondering, when can I recommend doing 3 things at the same time?
Well, sometimes if you're doing something that you set it and it goes, if you're doing an upgrade or something like that, you can do something like that and you also be doing something else. Or something that you can go back and forth on, or you're waiting for input from somebody else on it,
Okay.
then you can be
That
doing
makes
things at the
sense.
same time.
Thank you.
So, but I appreciate you saying that. A good example is I have a friend of mine, she comes down from Chicago to visit me, and we have kind of a strange relationship. We went out to Kirby Lane, and we had our laptops, and we had our iPads, and we had our phones, and we were setting up all these tools, and had our Kanban flow, and our Google calendars, and we were syncing everything up, and we were having our migas and our pancakes and our margaritas. I mean, it wasn't Friday night after all. So we were getting all this stuff set up, and we felt fantastic by the time we left, right? We were so organized and had all this stuff. She loves this system, absolutely loves it. People or her family come to talk to her and be like, nope, I'm on Pomodoro time. You can talk to me during the break. And she's very prolific. She does screenwriting, so she writes movie scripts. And she has written 23 scripts to date and has probably another half a dozen in the works. So she absolutely loves this. So is there anybody else that's used this system that's been very effective for them? Yeah?
I had a question.
Oh, yeah.
Setting the priority, how do you prioritize? Is there some behind the screen priority method that kind of will help you set the priority and issue all the time?
So if you know something about me, I like to keep things as simple as possible. So there probably is. I keep it as simple as possible. The high priorities go at the top of the list, and you can move them around. So you can just put them at the, and then I put my reoccurring towards the bottom. But usually, if the high priority, I just pull it to the top of the list, and I'll move around that way, just click and drag. Yes.
How focused are you, for example, when you're in a
Mm-hmm.
doing something, focusing in the phone rings? Do you even look at who's calling, or do you just ignore it until break time?
Well, that's up to you. First of all, you ask how focused are you when you're doing your Pomodoros. And I love that. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, this is kind of a cool tool. It is amazing. When you set a timer, it does something to your head. And you really are a lot more focused than you think you might be. It's kind of crazy. But when the phone rings, and this is really cool when you do this tool. So let's say you're doing this and you've started it, and the phone rings, and you're like, oh, I do need to answer that call. And it's up to you. It depends on what you're doing as well. So you say, oh, I need to answer that call. So you answer the call, and then you stop this. And so when you do this, you actually stop it, and it brings up choices. It's like, hey, why don't you stop your Pomodoro? And one of them was a phone call, and one of them is my boss interrupted me. I can't remember what the third one was. And the fourth one is the universe insisted. I love that in the tool. So it actually does track the interruptions, and so you can kind of keep track of that. So if you want to look at, oh, what has been interrupting me, maybe I need to do something about it. It just gives you good feedback on that. It also has a point system for those of you that like points, that really need that. So I think it has got 5,325 points. I don't know what that means. I don't really pay attention, but it does give you points every time you accept the points at the end of your Pomodoro. Or you also have the option to where at the end of that you're like, ooh, I really wasn't focused. And that's an option too. I really wasn't focused, so I don't get credit for that Pomodoro.
So the hard system, meaning big whiteboard
Mhm.
with Post-its, probably not quite as effective. Would you agree, or it can be?
Oh, well, it depends, because we've got two different systems here, right? You've got Kanban and Pomodoros. And so that's why I like this one, because it's combined. But if you have a big board and that's your Kanban, how you'd want to combine that, you could create an app that's also a Pomodoro, or you could have the timers. It's a little, very low tech, but you could do that as well. So, but that's what I found, because I had used Kanban before, and I used it in my own life before. But when I added the Pomodoros, I mean, it upped the productivity like crazy, and I love it. That's awesome. Yes?
Does it have categories, and along with that, does it have any reporting so you can look at how long it actually takes to get things done?
Yes and yes. It does have categories. You can color code things, you can categorize them, and it does have reporting. So I haven't used that a lot. There was a question back there. Yes?
I just wanted us to be clear, the Pomodoro timer is integrated in the Kanban flow tool.
Yes.
So the other options you showed were just alternatives where you might
Some of
mix and
them
match.
do, some of them don't. It's really, like I said, there's a lot of them out there. When you start searching, you're like, oh, there's a lot of them out there. This is the one I like best, so,
Thank you.
yeah. Yes? To which one? That one? Okay, yes. Good question?
Where can I view this presentation later?
Well, there is a wonderful gentleman in the back that is putting this entire thing together and be able to review this entire presentation, and this will be incorporated into it. I don't know if there's another, do you keep your presentation?
We'll show you the slide on where to go when we go back, after we get out of this.
Okay. The slides are not very exciting, they're mostly pictures, unless you like a picture of the cat. Any other questions? Yes?
The slides are included on the presentation.
Got that. I think it does have an offline version, but I'm not 100% on that, so. Yes.
If you're working on something, like your friend with the screenwriting,
Mhm.
and you're just on fire,
Mhm.
you know, you're just, the ideas are just coming, and the bell goes off, and you don't want to quit, and you just keep working through,
Yeah.
so you can do that.
Yes, and I've done that a lot. You know, it's like you're on fire. You don't want to stop the flow. Yeah, you're on a roll. And so I've done that. It's like, no, I'm working, and I'll just hit the start button again, and it'll just start the timer over again. But I find after 2 or 3 of those, I do need a break. But it's a good reminder, because I just sit in my chair. I mean, I have sat in my chair for 12 hours straight, and I look up going, oh crap, what have I? You know, I haven't even hardly gotten out of my seat. This actually does help you to get up. And, you know, the whole sitting is the new smoking. You know, you should get up and move a little bit. But you do have the option to keep going. Anyone else? Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for letting me talk to you.